Hello, everyone, and welcome to Focus Your Ads podcast, where we talk about Google Ads. My name is Glenn, and I'm joined here with Dan. In this episode, we're going to be answering some more questions about Google Ads. So let's get right to it and dive in. So, Dan, here's my first question for you. How do you make my video ads show up on certain YouTube videos?
Okay, so this question here, it can be tricky because if you go ahead and create a YouTube ad and you just do it the way that you would think you would do it, you can't actually pick where your ads are showing up. You can select audiences and all this, but you can't select the video that you want to show it up. So you'd think that you couldn't do it. It would be impossible, but there is a way to do it. So here's how you do it. So you go into create ads without goals. So that's the first trick is don't pick sales, don't pick any other goal, pick create it without goals. And that's going to give you all the options to select your YouTube. Or to select YouTube videos or channels. The next, you're going to select video ad for campaign type. Then here's the important part. You're going to select get views when it comes to subtype. So this will show up once you select the video and you're going to select get views. And this is going to allow you now to pick the different YouTube channels, the different YouTube videos that you want to show up on. And then once you're created your YouTube ad, or I guess it'll actually show up in the next step here. But you can go to placements and either search for the channel or video, or you can even take the URL. So find the YouTube video that you want to show up on, find that URL, grab it, paste it in the search field, and it's going to show you that video and you can select that video. So now you can pick the videos that you want to show up on for. So if you are, let's say you're a tour guide and you want to show up on maybe even your competitors' videos, or you want to show up on people give you information about travel, like how to travel, how to pack, and all this information. Now you could actually take that video and you could have your ad show up before that video. So you can have, and then they can have the different types of ads that show up. So that's how you go about setting it up.
That's excellent. So it can be done in just like 4 or 5 quick steps and you're there.
Yeah, it's pretty simple. But if you do it wrong, you'll never see these options. It's impossible to change or possible to find. So you have to make sure that you've set it up this way.
So you have to start out with create ad without goals, and that'll get you going down the right path.
Yeah. And then that next part, the subtypes with get views, is going to allow you to pick those videos. The only downside is you won't be able to use certain bidding strategies like conversion bidding strategies with this. Whereas if you selected sales and you actually went ahead with get more conversions, you're going to be able to use the automated bidding strategies that go after conversions. You'll just lose some of the control. But this is how you can select the actual videos. But if you want less control and want Google to do its thing with conversions, then you'd obviously want to select conversions. So it depends on what you're looking to happen.
Right. And I suppose you could test these against each other, do it both ways with different products, different videos, and see which one is working better for you.
Yeah, that's for sure. You could set up a few campaigns. You could have 2 campaigns, one with conversions, one without, and then you could test them against each other and see what ones have better click-through rates, what ones are bringing conversions, and just see what ones are going to perform the best for you.
Right. Excellent.
Yeah. So I guess, should we go into the next question here?
Sure.
So here it is. So I can't tell if my display remarketing campaign is working. Any tips on how to figure this out?
Well, if their goal is conversions, then make sure you look at view through conversions. These allow you to see conversations that happened after someone just viewed an ad, but not clicked on it, but only viewed it. Keep in mind that tracking isn't perfect, and you may not be able to directly see the results. You could test the performance by increasing the budget or decreasing the display remarketing budget for a week or 2. See how that affects the performance. Also, keep an eye on click-through rate. This is another great metric that can help you determine how relevant your ad is.
Yeah, so I think that all makes sense. There are lots of ways you can figure out if your display remarketing campaign is working. But like you said, click-through rate is a good way. And view through conversions is a really big one, because if you're getting lots of view through conversions, then you're obviously getting sales that are related to these. And you know that your remarketing campaign is showing to the right people. and encouraging those people. So you might not get the conversions or the ROAS that you'd normally think of, but with those view through conversions, you're going to see that, okay, yeah, it's still contributing to the overall account. It's still helping everything else.
Okay. Dan, I just started a shopping ad, but I don't see any keywords. Where do I enter my keywords?
So when you're starting a shopping campaign, there is no keywords. And I guess I should clarify, even when you're not starting a shopping campaign, if you're working in shopping ads at all, there's no keywords. They don't exist in shopping ads. Keywords come from search ads, and you can use them in different other types of ads as well, like even display. There's hidden places where you can find the keywords. But with keywords, they don't exist in shopping ads. Now, what you would probably want to be finding is search terms because you want to see what people are searching for. But in order to understand keywords, what happens with shopping ads is first you give Google your feed. It goes to the Merchant Center. That feed is analyzed by Google. Google will also analyze your website. So it's going to be looking at your website. It's going to look at your title, description. It's going to be pulling all those keywords out of your title, your description, and anything that's sent to the Merchant Center. And it's going to use other information that it knows about that product. So if you have a G10, it's going to know a little bit more about that product because it's going to have information that's related to competing stores and different stuff, like different stores like that. You're going to find that Google's going to know a lot about your products, and they're going to use those as your keywords. So it's going to essentially scan your website. It's going to pull the keywords. So it's important to have great titles, great descriptions, and really put in a lot of information in your descriptions. You want to have a really great experience for your customer, and having different keywords throughout there. Don't stuff keywords in. Like, you don't want to have, say, if you're selling floating toys, you don't want to type in there blow up toy, floating toy, and have a whole bunch of different versions of it and make it almost look like it's spammy, because Google will pick up on that and they will actually push you down, and they will ensure that you're getting less traffic that way. So you want to just make sure it's natural, and you include information that would help someone determine what your product is. And that's where your keywords come from. Google brings those into your ads, and they use those, your keywords, and then you get to view them as search terms. So this is not the keywords anymore. It's what people have searched, and you can view those. There are ways to help us sculpt what kind of keywords we're showing up for. And that's a little more advanced, but it's setting up like multiple tiers. We can essentially sculpt what kind of keywords we're getting. So you can have what's called like an alpha beta setup. So your beta would be everything that Google's bringing in. And then you can add negative keywords to this and force some of those terms up to the alpha campaign. So you'd have to set up a few different things to make this work. So if you're interested, I think we do have a YouTube video out about this. So you can find information on how to set these up, but we won't dive into that right now. But essentially, the short answer is there is no keywords for shopping ads. So next, let's go into the next question. So Grant, what should my budget be when I start my ads? What is a good budget?
Well, that is a good question. Budgets are a really personal or business choice. There's no set budget that you must have. You should be able to handle a month or two of poor results with whatever budget you've set. Google is a long-term gain, so I prefer spreading out the spend. The bigger the budget, the faster the results. But here's a caveat. Those results can be good results or they can be bad results. They're both faster, but they could be good or bad. So be sure that you're comfortable with your budget. When making a budget, keep in mind, Google can go up to 2 times your daily budget. So if your daily budget is, say, $50, they can spend $100. And the shock value when you see that is, it's incredible to see that kind of thing happen. Over the period of your month, Google will stay within your average daily budget over the full period of the month. So you might see them double your budget one day, but then they will make up for that with a lower budget or a lower draw on that budget over the month. To figure out your monthly budget, times your daily budget by 30.4. Okay, so the short answer, pick a budget that's reasonable for you and reasonable for your business, then adjust your ad account to fit it. Anything there, Dan, to add to that?
No, I think you covered most of it there. Just, pick a budget that's reasonable. A lot of people will go in and pick a huge budget, but they can't handle that budget for more than a month. So now they're in panic mode. And being in panic mode isn't really a great place to be when you're dealing with Google Ads, because you're going to make mistakes. You're going to be super aggressive for a month. And maybe that month wasn't a great month just because the industry wasn't doing that great for that month. But now you're not set up for the next month. So I'd rather have a smaller budget and let it be able to last for several months, and then start increasing if I start seeing results in certain places. And it allows you time to really make adjustments. If you have a really big budget and you only get that 1 month to try it, you don't have enough time to make adjustments. So you want to have a little more time to sculpt things, make adjustments, and make your accounts better. But it can take time. And the first 2 months, you're just in experiment mode and you're trying to make sure things can work. Sometimes you get lucky, but not always. So it's good to be able to handle at least 1 or 2 months where maybe you don't get any sales that month, but those 2 months.
Right. So Google is a long-term gain, and people have been putting a lot of work and effort into getting to this point where you're starting to apply your budget and actually getting your store running. You got to take the time now to let it work for you. So Dan, here's another one. I keep getting calls for my business that are related to rentals. I don't have rentals. I only sell. I'm running a Performance Max and don't see any way to get rid of this. Please help.
Right. So in order to get rid of this, there's actually an easy answer. And we never had this answer for a long time, actually, with Performance Max. It was one of those, you put the dollar in the vending machine and you hope that you get 2 out, but you don't know if you're going to get 2 out because it's all in the black box behind in Google's back room somewhere. You can't see what's happening. So, but now they've given us this option of actually adding an account level negative keyword. So if you don't know about this, you can go into settings, in account settings. So this isn't your campaign or ad group setting, it's account settings. And then you're going to go into negative keywords. And in there, I believe you can add up to 1,000 negative keywords. So you could add different keywords like rent, rental, rentals. Just make sure that you understand the match types when you're doing it and understand that this is going to apply to everything in your whole campaign. It's not just going to apply to Performance Max. It will apply to everywhere. So if you're just trying to exclude a term for one area of your account, just make sure you know that it's going to affect everything. So, but in this case, if you don't sell rent or anything or you don't have any rentals, then obviously it makes sense to add rent as a broad match, rental as a broad match, rentals as a broad match. And that will exclude any of those terms from anywhere, any search terms that come up in your entire account. It's tricky with Performance Max, but that's really the only spot you can go to add them in.
So if you're not in the rental business, it's not really that much of a fear to have it excluded from everything. But you have to be careful if it's not this particular scenario of rentals.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's it, folks. Thanks for listening to the podcast today. Leaving a review would certainly help us out. Well, especially if it's a 5-star review. We would love to hear your feedback also. If you have any questions, feel free to send them to us at focusyouраds.com. We'd be happy to talk to you.
Yeah, that's right. So we love reviews, obviously. So if you need help advertising or want someone to take a look at your ads or take your ads to the next level, feel free to reach out to us at focusyouраds.com. Take care, and we'll see you in the next episode.